last topic for today class is we apply the software, in this case Microsoft project, to project scheduling. And that we go to problem 3. The project will start on November 9th, 2020. The table below shows the list of activity, the table that's shown here. Working time, 7 days per week. The maximum number of workers, 40. Pay rate, $60 per hour per use for all resources, 0. So we have all the activity, same as activity we have in the previous problems. And the question is create a schedule, assign resources, level resources. For the assignment of resources, level resources, things like that, and that you will use those knowledge, skills to apply for project 2. And that I make a record a few years ago for the tutorial using Microsoft project for developing resource loaded schedule, and it in here. And then when you do the project 2, you may be able to go back to this tutorial. Depends on a specific needs of your area that you're looking on, project setup, task definition and relationship, resource definition, loading, leveling, schedule formatting, or lead lag factors. All of that, it will be in here, and then you can be able to apply that for your project 2. So that will be there. But today I just go briefly to show you schedule more detail. Like I say, go to this tutorial that I recorded a few years ago. So let's go back to the worksheet that with the information here. So this is project schedule, Microsoft project, and I show here in the Gantt chart. So with this project, how can I set up the schedule? So you have activity working 7 days per week, so that we can go back to here to change to project, and then you can change working time. And here by default it work on no working on Saturday and Sundays, so you can change that as well. So you change that here, working on weekends if it's 7 days per week, right? So you have start today's, and it can be until you graduate, so you have to work 7 days per week until you graduate. So that is the May 10, 2021. Hopefully all of you will graduate there. And that one you go to detail, from that you go to detail, and that it will be weekly, and you change a working time, and you have here you assume 8 to 1 and 12 to noon, and then 1 p.m. to 5. You can change that as well. And that one is weekly from this, and then you can end by like I say November 10. Then you can apply for which day is you can apply. You have to work on Sunday, and I have to work on Saturday. So you can put that one, you set up that is working time. And now as you can see, go back to schedule now. From October 27, everything is working exception days that you have to work over the weekend. So we said okay, did that. So that become, as you can see, before October 27 we have a gray in here that is working time, non-working time in the weekend, but now it become working time. And then the project start at November 9th. So how can I do that? I can go here to change the project information, go to project tab, project information, start date November 9th, so which is here, project start November 9th. Then we can go back to add the project information, mobilization, site clearance. So you can type mobilization, site clearance, but you can go ahead to copy just like in Excel or Word. I can copy the excavation, lean concrete, rebar in here, in there, in that information. So I can copy that one here, excavation, rebar, and backfilling from Word to the Excel that you have here, and then pass that information. So you have that one on activities, 10 activity that you see there. Scheduling mode, it manual, stay for manual. You can change that into auto. Okay, so that you can change everything to auto. So go to task, you can go to tasks tab, and instead of manual you say auto schedule, so everything become auto. Project duration, and you can see here in the problem we have 7 days, so you can put in 7 days in there. However, you can copy that just like we did in Excel or Microsoft Word. There we copy and paste that, so everything we have the project, so that we have information in this one. Now we go ahead to put the relationship. Activity A, non-predecessor, B, non-predecessor, C follow AB. So what do I do in here? So C follow AB, C excavation follow AB. So you can right click and then select information, right click, select information, and then you select predecessor, select the tab predecessor, go back, they showed you general here, predecessor. So the task name for predecessor is follow A and B, which is the mobilization, that is A, and relationship is finish start. You can have other relationship that you just learned today, finish to start, start, finish to finish. Start to finish, like I said, not practical in engineering, so we don't have to use that. So in your project 2, use the first 3 relationship, and then also have luck. And if you want lead, you just put negative luck in there, so they only have luck. But in this case, the finish to start relationship. And then they also follow the site clearance for activity B and finish start. So you're done there. So where it's so, you can see it move. Activity C move after A and B complete. You have the C there. How can we show that? If you see the predecessor list in here, and they say 1 and comma 2. What does that mean? 1, each activity have an ID here. So 1 is stand for activity mobilization, that is activity A. B, this is 2 ID in here, that is 2. So 1 plus comma 2 is mean follow A and follow B, follow activity ID 1 and 2, which is A and B. So go back to our problem there, and you can see that it's A and B. So you can do that with the information. So similarly, I can say C, D follow C. So instead of go same as, you can go to the lean concrete follow excavation, do something that I did earlier for activity C. You can select the predecessor and drop down and select finish relationship. I can go ahead to type it directly in here. I can type directly in that predecessor. So in here, instead of say it, right click on that information, select, and then choose predecessor, drop down, and select that is excavation, which is activity C, and follow finish task relationship. I can actually type here, it follow excavation, and excavation is ID 3, so I can put 3 in the predecessor column, and you can see it move, continue to move. All right, so for activity. Similar for other information, you can do that as well. I do one more time. Activity rebar fabrication. Rebar fabrication. That is A, E, and follow B. Follow B. So I can do that. follow B, which is site clearance. Then we can have that is site clearance. So it follow 2, and then you do the same. You have that F follow DE, F follow DE, F follow D, so it would be 4, E, which is 5, and then you have G follow D, which is D is link concrete, so you can G follow D, 4, you have, and then you have H follow FG, rebar installation and formwork installation. So F follow HG, so we have 6 and 7. 6 for rebar installation, 7 stand for formwork installation. Concrete current follow I, follow H, and J backfilling follow I, so we can do that as well. So follow H, which is concrete placement, ID 8, follow J, follow I, backfilling follow concrete current, so that in number 9, so you have that. Okay, so still you don't it moving everything, so that you see it automatically schedule our activity. And then, you know, when we do that by hand, we did this problem 68 days, we haven't seen that yet. How? You can make a summary activity by insert task. You see, right click on the first task, you can insert task, and then you can, just like Excel, you insert another cell. You see, I can say the foundation okay, and that is stand for the whole thing of this activity. Then I can, how can I do? Of course, I can select auto schedule. It not have yet. That is the whole activity for all of the test activity that we showed in today class. So we have, you can select Shift 8, Shift plus to select all the activity that belong to the foundation construction. Then I can select indent, go to task, select indent. You see that here? Or you can right click, and they don't have indent in here. So you can right click. If it doesn't work, then you select tasks, select on the activity, and then you see that in the task, you see that it indent tasks, or you use the key shortcut alternate shift right. Alternate shift left, move to the left, move to the right. Now if I want to move to the right, and then you can see now foundation, it become a summary of all of the 10 activities that you have in here, and you believe it or not, that is 68 days. So I can hide that. So if it higher level, they don't care what is the detail in that activity. That is master schedule, something we're talking about. And now if you go to detail, you can do it further. And of course, if backfilling, you want to have backfilling 1 and 2, backfilling phase 1, area 1, if you want that way, and then you have backfilling area 2, you can do that in the sub activity, so you can indent that as well, and then you take auto schedule. So you can see that you can do that in that sense. So you can hide that, continue hide that, so it can multiple layer, not only 2 layer as you can see there. But I don't need to do that here. So go down, I delete that, we don't have that in that information. Then I can delete this one here, and the project is 60 days, exactly the same as we did in there. Now move to the scenarios that we have here. What if we change relationship, something we do in today's lesson, problem 2 in today's lesson. B and A had a predecessor with the SS equal to 4 days of lag. and then E and F, FS minus 5 days. Activity I is removed and replaced with the relationship FS plus 3 days between H and J. So how can I do that here? So in that case, B, now it follow A, SS plus 3 days. So you select that, right click, select information, predecessor, that is one way, and do one way this way first, and I can do the other way. It follow A, and in this case A is mobilization. Select mobilization here, that activity A, and the problem is start plus 4 days. So you have to select that is start 4 days instead of finish start. So drop down menu, start plus 4 days. So lag 4 days. So you put 4 day lag. If it lit, then you put lag negative. Then you're done. And as you can see, the start of B move 4 days after A start, and from the left to the left because start relationship. See there? And now it's more important here. You see, 2 SS plus 4 days. What is that? 2 stand for activity mobilization, the ID number 2 here, which is activity A. SS, activity 2, mobilization, must start before this activity site clearance, activity B can start. And lag 4 days, that is lag 4 days. So that one way you can do, you can type right down here, they put information, or you can type directly in there, predecessor. And with that one, we can complete the other activity. FS of E and F, E change to FS minus 5 days. So how can I do that? Here, instead of FS, E and F. So what is E and what is F? E is rebar fabrication and rebar installation. So that is rebar fabrication, that E, rebar installation is F. So that if 5 follow 6, what I do here, instead of 6 follow 6 with the rebar fabrication, I apply similar to here. Of course, you can drop down menu and in predecessor here, finish that, you can plug 6 days, 5 days, lag or lit based on the problem here. Lit 5 days or lag negative 5 days in there, in that information, in that tab, negative 5, or you can type directly in here, follow as, yes, FS, finish start, lag negative 5 days, so you have negative 5 days. So you can say 6 FS negative 5. So it's automatic. So instead of put in information, you can do that as well. And the last one is you remove activity I and change relationship between between H and J is 3 days. So how can I do? I can remove that first. Okay, and then we remove that activity I, so I just right click and I delete that task. And now backfilling follow H, which is concrete placement plus 3 days, and that is finish start relationship. So again, there are 2 ways that I can do. I can do it here. I can do select right click information, predecessor, and then put lag in there, or I can type directly in here. So follow H with the concrete placement and that ID number 9 in there. So I put 9 FS relationship finish start. So I can have follow finish start relationship of activity 9 concrete placement plus 3 day lag. So I plus 3 days. So it moved. And believe it or not, now the project becomes 70 days. And it's same as the information in problem 2 that we do today is 70 days. And of course, if it's good format, this is not good formatting yet, you can right click and change time scale, all of that. And if you do correctly, good, you can be able to solve the project in even good formatting. And the first one, 68 days, if you do with the lead lag that I just showed you, 70 days. And of course, you can show with my total float, free float, everything. You can select right click in the column, insert column, and then you search total slack in the Microsoft project. Instead of they call total float, they call total slack. So here, and that you have 13 days rebar fabrication for that 70 days project, for 13 for activity E, 13 days total float. You can see that in there, 13 days. 8th day for activity G, formwork installation. In what we do, 8 days. Make sense? F, and then what else? Nothing else that have total float. Everything else would be 0. So the total float, everything else would be 0. You see that. And now free float, I can do the same, and that in Microsoft project, a free slack, insert column, and I say free slack. Search there, and then you select free slack. E, 8 days free float for activity E, rebar fabrication. Activity G, formwork installation, that is 8 days. You can have that. It's exactly the same hour calculation in today's lesson. And similarly, for the problem that we did last lesson, which is lesson 22, with no lead lag, no other dependency, or year finish to start at 68 days, we add that column the same. You can be able to find out the total float and free float for each activity. Let's see the site clearance activity B. Total slack means total float 2 days. Free slack, free float 0. Let's go to that problem. B, you have total slack, total float 2 days. Free float, free slack 0. And that on other information, we can do that. So with that one, as you can see, you can do automatically with all of this problem. And that's why in the project, we have 10,000 of activity. It's not a big deal. We don't do manually, which we did in there. But we need to learn the concept, how to calculate each of the schedule. And then you can show the, from Gantt chart, you can show the network diagram in here. You can see the PDM, precedent, and diagram in method, each activity, on node, etc. So with that one, I just show you a short overview. But if you go to the tutorial that I schedule one day before the Tuesday before the Thanksgiving break, so that, and that project 2 work days, when you use this additional information, more complicated with the resource loading schedule, etc., in this tutorial to prepare for your project 2.